Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ Bhāgavata-sevayā. Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki. Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajeshataniyas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachitupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Va Kalpitam Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhur Tatradhara Para Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 31, entitled The Gopis' Song of Separation, also called as Gopi Gita. And this is a very important chapter right in the middle of the 5 most important chapters in Canto 10, 28, 29, 30. 29, 30, 31, 32. Yeah, so these 5 chapters in 29 to 32 are, and right in the middle is Gopi Gita. This is also called, these chapters are called the smile of Lord Krishna. As Canto 10 is described, the face of Lord Krishna. So we have read till text number 16 in the last session. And today we will read the last 3 verses, 17, 18, and 19. The Gopis are describing their intense desire of Krishna darshan, to be with Krishna, to get Krishna's lotus feet, lotus hand, lotus lips, lotus embrace, lotus, everything is very, very transcendental. And this chapter is all about the topmost rasa, the conjugal madhurya rasa. But at the same time, the Gopis also are describing about their intense love and separation. So let's continue further with the next verse, Canto 10, Chapter 31, text number 17. Rahasi samvedam richayodayam prahasitananam prema vikshanam brahadurah shriyo vikshaya dhamate muhurati spriha muyate manaha. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Our minds are repeatedly bewildered as we think of the intimate conversations we had with you in secret. Feel the rise of lust in our hearts and remember your smiling face, your loving glances, and your broad chest, the resting place of the goddess of fortune. Thus, we experience the most severe hankering for you. The Gopis are experiencing the most severe hankering. How? By remembering the conversations about Krishna. Whom will we remember? Right? Whatever we talk and hear, we will remember about that. If we are hearing a lot about political affairs, just for example, What will we remember? We'll remember political affairs. Simple. I'm sure all of us have experienced that. If we are talking a lot about physics, what in the back of our mind, our subconscious mind also, that will come. But the gopis, what they engage their time and energy is in conversing with Krishna, about Krishna, Krishna's name, form, qualities. So naturally they cannot forget or cannot stop thinking of Krishna or remembering about Krishna. So Shravanam leads to Kirtanam. Sorry, Shravanam, Kirtanam, right, leads to Smaranam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So whatever we are speaking, Kirtan, whatever we are hearing, Shravanam, right, we will have that Smaranam. So the gopis are remembering, hankering, and they are, and that Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam will lead to Lalasa or Lalyam, is it not? Most people talk about money, they want to hear about money, they want to remember money, they want to learn how to make more money, right? And it leads to greed, material greed. But devotees, they are not foolish. They're the most intelligent. That's why they engage their time, energy, years, words in remembering Krishna and speaking about Krishna. So it can lead to spiritual greed, which is the real wealth. So Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta says, the gopis are saying, what can be done with 5 elements of illusion like the 5 arrows of Cupid? You have entered through our eyes and ignited a blazing fire in our hearts. First, there are your prayerful petitions of conjugal pleasure. Second, there is a rise of passion caused by your glances. Third, there is your smiling face. Fourth, the loving glances. And fifth, your broad chest endowed with all the splendor. These are the 5 things they are mentioning. Materialists are put in illusion by what? Money, primarily, or pleasures of opposite sex, or name, fame, basically material things. But gopis are put in transcendental illusion by Krishna. Krishna's smile, Krishna's glances, Krishna's chest, Krishna's petitions, right? So are we illusioned by matter or are we illusioned by the Supreme? Something to ponder. Considering all this again and again, our hankering increases, our mind becomes completely bewildered, and out of great eagerness we faint. This is the gopis' mood. So we can also pray that Krishna, I am right now illusioned by materialistic things. I'm illusioned by Maya. But kindly you put me under your illusion. Mahatmanastu mam partha devim prakritim ashrita. Those who are Mahatmas, they are under the divine energy, Devi Prakriti Ashrita. And those who are Duratma, those who are materialists, they are under the grip of Mahamaya. So it's a request or a cry of a devotee. Krishna, please put me under your shelter, care, embrace. My mind is illusioned by matter. You kindly put it under your grip. Any thoughts, comments here? Okay, text 18 we can read. Anyone would like to read this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I can read.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Prajavanukasham vyaktir angate vrijena hantri alam vishvamangalam त्याजामानक्षनास्त्वात्स्पृतमाणम् स्वजना हृदरुजं ध्याननिषूदनम्.
This is a different meter. Would you like to try? Take a pause in the middle. Vrajavanokasam vyaktirangate vrijagnahantriyalam vishvamangalam. You want to try, Mataji?
Yeah. Vrajavanauकशां व्यक्तिरङ्गते Vrijanahantriyalam Vishwamangalam Tyajamanakchanas Tvajanarid Rujam Yannishudanam. Translation. O beloved, your all auspicious appearance vanquishes the distress of those living in Vraja forest. Our minds long for your association. Please give to us just a bit of that medicine which counteracts the disease in your devotees' hearts. Purport. According to the Acharyas, the Gopis repeatedly entreat Lord Kṛṣṇa to place his lotus feet on their breast. The Gopis are not victims of material lust, but rather they are absorbed in pure love of Godhead and thus want to serve Lord Krishna's lotus feet by offering their beautiful breasts to him. Materialistic persons who are victims of mundane sex desire will not be able to understand how these conjugal dealings take place on pure spiritual platform, and that is the materialist's great misfortune. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Any thoughts here in this?
So the gopis are longing for the association, like intimate association of Lord Krishna. That is what I understand, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Let's read maybe one word to word. Vraja Vana Okasam. Those who are residing in the forest of Vraja. Your auspicious appearance, what it does, it vanquishes the distress. Very, very beautiful. When Kṛṣṇa comes in our life, right, then all the distress, the word used is distress, is completely destroyed. Why? Because right now the mind is full of matter. But when Kṛṣṇa enters, the holy name enters, it is the churning and the impurities, the bad desires, right? Those are out. And then Kṛṣṇa enters the heart. And then it becomes Vrindavan, right? What is Vrindavan? It's a consciousness. So where Kṛṣṇa is always present, that home, that heart, that mind, that person. So give us just a bit of that medicine, referring to Kṛṣṇa's association, referring to Kṛṣṇa's remembrance, referring to Kṛṣṇa's name, form, qualities. So Kṛṣṇa is asking, what is that? What are you asking for? This medicine, Gopis say, it is the medicinal lotus flower of your feet. which pacifies the heart disease of your devotees. Swajana Hrit Nejam. As we read here, Swajana, which are your people or your devotees, Rujam, we have this disease. So we need that medicine. So what is the medicine here? Krishna's lotus feet. If we have Krishna's lotus feet in our life, then nothing else is required. Krishna's lotus feet, Krishna's name, Krishna's form, because Krishna is transcendental. Angani yasya sakalindriya vrittimanti Vashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti. His lotus feet, his lotus face, his lotus palm, everything is lotus. Everything is divya, everything is transcendental. Every organ can do the functions of the other organ because it's all divine. So we should also hanker for this. When we look at the deity's lotus feet, we can meditate. The purest of the pure devotees are asking for Krishna's lotus feet. And we have done multiple sessions on Krishna's lotus feet. Many kids made such amazing paintings, drawings about Krishna's lotus feet. So we can meditate upon that. When we see the darshan of Krishna's lotus feet, we can also try to remember that. And we have also discussed why they're asking that on the chest, right? We have discussed the multiple times this meaning. Like when someone, like a mother holds a baby close to the chest, let's say a businessman, he has a briefcase of like $100,000. How will he hold it? Just like swing here and there? No, he'll hold it like this, so no one can take it away. In train rides, some of you may have experienced, if you have a backpack, right? Someone can take stuff out from there in such a crowded train, and we will not be able to do anything. But what people do, they put the backpack like straps in the back, in the front, right? Like how mother or father carries a baby, right? Close to their chest, and then they kind of wrap it with their arms so no one can take anything. So we should also, devotees, gopis are asking Krishna, put your lotus feet, the medicine of your lotus feet on our chest so that we can always remember you. This desire was expressed in the previous verses also. These gopis are describing their desires. And different gopis are, speaking different verses here. Therefore, the first verse says Gopya Uchu. It's not like Gopi Uvacha. This is plural, it's a tense, or plural is used, not the tense, sorry. Any other comments here before we go to the last verse? Any thoughts, questions, additions? Okay, the last verse of Gopi Geet, chapter 19, sorry, text 19. Anyone like to read? Manjulali, you want to read, or Shrama Mataji, are you able to read?
Yes, Prabhuji, I can read.
Please.
Fine. Yate sujata cha. I don't know how to. Yate sujata cha. Charanamburuham stane. I think there is a different meter, Prabhuji. I don't know how to sing this one.
I think the pause is after the charan. Yate suja charan amburu hams amburu hamstaneshu. I don't know also, I'm reading first time as well. Try your best, Mataji. It's
Okay, Prabhuji, I'll try.
yeah, it's a
Yat,
little bit more words, I think.
yeah. Yate sujata charan amburuham staneshu bhikashane siya dahi mahi parkashishu tena tavima tasitarvyate nakim sve Purpadi Bhramati Dhir Bhavana Vishana.
Yeah, this has more words, so therefore it's not fitting. And this is not also following that poetic meter, like the second and the seventh. Yeah, so it's a little bit different. But you did very good, Mataji. Thank you.
Should I read the translation?
Yes, please.
Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O dearly beloved, your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently on our breasts, fearing that your feet will be hurt. Our life rests only in you. Our minds, therefore, are filled with anxiety that your tender feet might be wounded by pebbles as you roam about on the forest path. Sorry, Prabhuji, can you read? Please, not letting me read.
Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Lambat pranam. So, Prabhuji, from the starting translation.
Okay, sure.
Translation. O dearly beloved, your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently on our breasts, fearing that your feet will be hurt. Our life rests only in you. Our minds, therefore, are filled with anxiety that your tender feet might be wounded by pebbles as you roam about on the forest path. Purport. The translation of this verse is from Srila Prabhupada's English rendering of Caitanya-caritāmṛta Adi Lila 4.173. Thus end the purports of the humble servants of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to the 10th canto, 31st chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam entitled The Gopis Songs of Separation. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Okay, so this verse, as you know, there are hundreds of verses in the Bhagavatam which are in Caitanya-caritāmṛta. There are hundreds of verses from Bhagavad Gita in Caitanya-caritāmṛta. So this verse is also there. This translation is technically given by Srila Prabhupada, as mentioned here, because Prabhupada had translated Caitanya-caritāmṛta before, before he did the the last, I guess, Canto 10. While he was at Canto 10, he did till chapter 14, but this was already released to the Caitanya-caritāmṛta. So let's try to understand a little bit more what's happening here. Yate sujata charanamburaham stanishu Bhita Shanai Priyadadhai Mahikarakeshu Tenat Tenatvam Atisai Yat Vyathatena Kimsmet Kurpadibhe Brahmati Dhir Bhavat Ayushannaha. That one fits better, the Brahma Samhita meter. So your fine lotus feet, yatte sujata. Su means good, jata. Very, very fine. What? Charanamb ruham. So in this verse, we see basically what's happening. As we know, the gopis are here so much in anxiety that the softest part of their body will hurt Krishna's feet. This is the mood of, like, basically they don't want to disturb or cause difficulty for their beloved. Rather, they are wanting to take all the pain and anxiety for Krishna. The famous story, as we have heard many, many times, but it's worth repeating here. One time, Narad Muni wanted to check who's the best devotee. And then he asked Lord Krishna how to test. Okay, Krishna told, go to all the devotees and tell that I'm having a headache. And what is the remedy? The remedy is the dust of my devotees' feet. So he went to many, many yogis. They were chanting big, big mantras in yajnas. Oh, giving feet to Krishna, giving our dust, the dust of our feet to Krishna. Oh God, Supreme, no, never forget it. We want us to go to, like, He's the Supreme, He's the Master, He's Lord of all Lords. Forget about it. He went to different people. Everyone said, oh, we will do anything. But when it comes to giving our dust, no, forget about it. I cannot even think of doing that, right? But when he went to Gopis, he said, well, Krishna is having headache, and can you give the dust of your lotus feet? He said, well, okay, let's get a big, big, uh, you know, uh, feet. And they all started jumping so that on that sheet, and so the dust can be collected. And then he said, okay, Narad Muni, go fast and heal Krishna. He said, are you crazy? You know what? Where will you go? Right? He said, if that gives a moment if it cures Krishna's headache, we are ready to suffer eternally. That's their mood, their pure love. So one should never think all this is mundane, or we can also, as a sadhaka, take lesson that gopis are taking anxiety for Krishna. Anxiety in this case, in our case, I feel is also can be said synonymous to responsibility. There's a whole class I was hearing past few weeks back about taking responsibility for Krishna. Would you like to share some thoughts? I want to take first your thoughts. What does do people generally like to take responsibility for Krishna? What do you think? Generally, do people like, or devotees, I'm talking about practicing, do they generally like it or no? Yes or no? Most of you, what do you think? Yes? No?
Yes, Prabhuji.
They like it? Okay. Anyone thinks no, or anyone thinks yes? What do you think? Please tell honestly.
Prabhuji, I feel that they like it with enthusiasm, but then it becomes sometimes difficult.
Yeah. Interesting point. Anyone else wants to share their thoughts, perspectives? Manjali is sharing a point. They like it as long as it doesn't clash with their material aspirations. Okay, valid point. It depends also, what the responsibility is. If the responsibility is, hey, can you pick this devotee is coming from the airport? Can you pick him? Maybe someone will say, okay, I'll do it if I'm available. But taking like serious long-term responsibility, most don't want like serious long-term commitment, right? Doing one time, twice, one here, there, once in a year, it's okay. But as like giving oneself fully, that's very rare. That's very rare. And not so sincere people, very, very sincere people, they may do it because it means a lot to be committed for a long time. There are, Maharaj discussed that in great detail. Like, why do people shy away, right? Like Prabhupada, I'll give an example, in a Prabhupada anecdote. One time, a person, when Prabhupada would call someone, can I meet you after the program or after the lunch or after the prasad? The devotees knew something was coming, right? And a sincere, devotee is not craving for position. Any position, any responsible position is lot of commitment. It's lot of transcendental anxiety, lot of headache, lot of, like you have to always be there. You can't say, well, like if someone asks Prabhupada, what's the job description of temple president? Like what they're supposed to do? Prabhupada said, if anything goes wrong, you get the blame. Right? So it's not easy. And dealing with so many different people, so many different new devotees, old devotees, etc., etc. It's certainly hard. Any responsible position as a leader for a short community or a big community, sometimes we may, and it's a challenge also. No one wants to take responsibility because I talk to some people who are in this leadership positions. Sincere devotees don't want to get into this. I'm not saying those who are into this are not sincere, don't take me wrong. But they are there because they are being requested by their spiritual superiors. Anyways, the point is it's tough, right? It's not easy, right? To join something is easy, right? To join a class, to join a retreat. For example, let's talk about Sadhu Sangha. Many of you are going there, right? To join that is not hard, right? But to take the responsibility of organizing it, you think it's easy? Certainly not. So much they have to deal with. So many, 4,000 people booking Prabhupada disciples, sannyasis, management, time, food, different dietary needs, kids, so much pre-planning, like a year ahead, they are like prepping everything. It's not easy. It's a lot of anxiety, and it's not like a 2-day anxiety. The program may be of 3 days, but they have anxiety for, I would say, a good 3 to 6 months before, after, managing money, making sure all the vendors are paid, and so many anxiety. It's not easy. So one must take some anxiety for Krishna if one wants to grow. But the other side also is that those who take anxiety, right? Those who take that anxiety, or take some responsibility, or take some responsibility in Krishna's mission. Krishna is going to reward accordingly also. So the long story short, one must take some responsibility, some anxiety, and that, or some goals, as Vishka Prabhu says. Our pledge is our wedge, our vow, right? So whether you call it anxiety, you call it service, you call it, some responsible role we should take. It doesn't mean, like we need to be a big leader, temple president, GBC or whatnot. In every place, like someone could have just a responsibility. It's my responsibility to arrange the microphone. That's a responsible, important thing. So making sure the batteries are charged, making sure everything is working, right? Making sure the sound system is fine, the audio visual is an important part of a program. Someone may have the responsibility just to get the cookies at a, Sankirtan festival, right? It needs planning, it needs thought, it needs, how many people are coming, how many approximate. So even if it's something small, we should take based on our time, place, situation. We will learn a lot, we will grow a lot. The gopis are taking anxiety. Those who take anxiety for Krishna, Krishna takes anxiety of them. Which verse fits here from Bhagavad Gita? Can anyone share a verse? Those who take anxiety for Krishna, Krishna takes anxiety for them. Think of a verse. Even if you remember the English, you get 5 points. Yes, Manjalali, want to share? Yogashayam Vamyam. Yes, that's LIC's slogan actually. Where they took from Bhagavad Gita. 9.22, very, very important and beautiful verse. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yoga shrimam vahamiham. You want to read, Manjalali, the translation?
Hare Krishna. Those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If we remember Krishna, Krishna will remember us. As we, the other verse also which fits is like ye tamam prapadyanti tam sathaiv bhajamya. We take anxiety for Krishna, Krishna will. If we remember him, if we sacrifice anything for him, will he not sacrifice for us? He will for sure. And I was just thinking of the stories of Narasimha Mehta. Thank you, Manjulali, for Manjulali and I have a lot of different natures, but somehow when it comes to Krishna consciousness, we always have the same thoughts in our heads. It's no coincidence, I don't know, and that's how we are hanging around. So we were at, I think Amrinder Prabhu's class. He shared beautiful stories of Narasimha Mehta. How many of you heard of Narasimha Mehta? Anyone has heard? The great saint from Gujarat in 15th century. I'll share one of his incidents if you want to hear, like if you like stories. Shall I share story of Narasimha Mehta?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Narasimha Mehta was a great devotee of initially Lord Shiva, but then finally he did a lot of worship to Lord Shiva. He asked, "What do you want?" Lord Shiva said. He said, "I want to get the best thing you have." He was very, very poor. Narasimha Mehta was very, very poor. His elder brother and elder brother's wife were not taking good care of Narasimha Mehta and his wife. But somehow he was very happy, like Krishna das, bindas, Maya das, udas. So finally he became a great, great devotee of Lord Krishna. To the extent it is mentioned by the biographers that 41 times Lord appeared. 41 times. Narasimha Mehta was very, very poor. by material calculations. People would make fun of him. One time, his daughter was supposed to be married, right? He had one daughter and one son, I believe. Firstly, he had a very hard time to find a good, proper match for the daughter, because anyone would come, like in the old days, the people would come and ask the family, oh, how is Narasimha Mehta? How is his family? They'll get the reviews, and everyone will give like bad reviews. Oh, he's the most poor, he's bad, he's this, he's that. Although he was very gentle, kind soul, he was poor, but he was a great devotee. Very, very tolerant, peaceful, caring, loving, equipoised, has all the devotional qualities. But somehow, by destiny, he was poor, but very happy and satisfied. And actually was the most richest because he had the wealth of Krishna Bhakti. So somehow, an alliance was arranged. But they said, well, it should be a grand marriage. At least it should be a grand marriage. In old days, dowry, all those things were there. And we want this, and dowry. And these people didn't have like food to eat, but to speak of like giving anything as gifts to the daughter. To the extent, the cheapest thing in a household is what? Salt, right? Salt is one of the cheapest things. They didn't have salt to put in their dish. And what to speak of the dish? There was no dish because they didn't have salt. The day of marriage came and said, well, we have to make so many preparation, this, that, but unfortunately we don't have anything. Well, Nursing Mehta said, well, the marriage is in the evening, and then there is some in the other town, there are some devotees have come. So let me just quickly go and come and meet them, get their association, and I'll be back soon. And while I'm coming back, I'll get some stuff. I'll borrow. I'll request someone to loan, give me like a borrow something, and I'll pay them off with time. He went. He was always doing kirtan, bhajan. Narasimha Mehta got so absorbed. When he was absorbed, and then I went to the other devotees in that satsang, bhajan was going on, kirtan is going on, katha is going on. He is busy with his what do you call manjira, manjira, like chanting, remembering Krishna, and time, he lost track of time. Finally, evening came, marriage came, and Narasimha Mehta was there, and he came with lot of paraphernalia, lot of sweets and preparations and gold and gifts and saris and kurtas and whatnot. He brought so many things. Every guest who came was fed sumptuously. All the brahmanas, the vivaha, samskar, everything was done in a grand way. Everyone who came went with a lot of gifts as well. And the village had never seen a marriage before like that grand. Everyone was very happy. It was all very nicely executed. And the day ended. After a few hours, the real Narasimha Mehta, who was busy chanting and remembering Krishna in the other town, came and said, oh, my dear wife, all I could get was some salt and some rice. Oh, I'm sorry, it was our daughter's marriage yesterday. And he came early morning. He said, what? What are you talking about? It was such a grand marriage. You only came with so many paraphernalia and gifts and gold and whatnot. Everyone, our daughter has gone to the her home, and everyone was so happy. The people were so happy. Relatives were so happy. Our daughters, the new in-laws were so happy. Everything was just perfect. So then he realized it was not Narasimha Mehta. It was Krishna, Govinda, Vasudeva, who came as his devotee, who intervened. Yoga Shimam, I preserve what you have and I provide what you lack. Yoga Shimam Vahamiham. Those who are absorbed in me, those who take anxiety for me, those who take responsibility for me, I never forget them. Those who don't forget me, I never forget them. Those who remember me, I remember them. Those who take anxiety for me, I take anxiety for them. Those who love me, I love them. He loves everyone. It's not that he doesn't love, non-devotees. What's the verse in the Gita which talks about that? Samoham sarvabhuteshu na me dveshasi na priya. मैं किसी से द्वेष नहीं करता, किसी को प्रिय नहीं. कृष्ण से समोहम सर्वभूत ये भजन्ति तुमाम भक्त्या मयि तेषु चाप्यहम्. But those who worship me with love and devotion, those who remember me, I am also remembering them. Mayि teshu chapyam. Sadhava hridayam mayyam sadhunam hridayam. Mat anyat te najati naham tebhyo managapi. They don't remember anything but me. I don't remember anything but them. Reciprocal relationships. Krishna loves us millions and millions and millions of times more than our mother or father or husband or wife or anyone of this world could ever do. He thinks, cares about us, we can never imagine. That's what the gopis are showing. Any thoughts, comments here? Want to hear what Krishna Chakravarti Thakur says in this context? So he's saying, the Krishna replies, why are you girls afraid? Why? Physically, they're afraid, or they're nervous. They're taking anxiety that the Krishna's lotus feet are so soft that the softest part of their body will be too hard for Krishna's feet. Right? Like a mother, is very anxious that the young child, a small baby, 2-month-old, 2-year-old, does not walk on the road without footwear, right? Like Yashoda Mata was anxious when Krishna was going in the forest. You all know the famous story. She made shoes. So the gopis, Krishna's lotus feet are softer than the softest and harder than the hardest. It all depends on, for the devotees, Krishna has lotus, right? Shankha, and Lord Vishnu has 4 hands, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. 2 for his devotees, 2 for demons. For devotees, conch and lotus to bless them. And for the non-devotees, Gada and Chakra to punish. Similarly, his feet, when they were on Kaliya, they were very, very rough. When they were on Chanur and Mushtika, very, very rough. But for the gopis, they're very, very soft. Okay. The long one, so Any comments, thoughts here? Maybe in the next session we'll do a quick summary also of this chapter. Anyone? Anyone has any thoughts, questions for what we have covered today about Krishna's, Gopis' desire for Krishna's lotus feet and taking the transcendental anxiety? No questions? Would any one of you like to share where you took some anxiety and responsibility or responsibility and you felt happy after doing that? In material world, when we take, when we are too much in anxiety, we feel depressed, we feel chaotic, we don't feel positive. But in spiritual life, it's opposite. Has anyone experienced that or want to share something in this connection?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
So any seva that I have tried to do always comes with anxiety, but then I feel happy. So that is the arc for any seva in Krishna consciousness journey.
Oh, thank you. Yes, seva is the meva. Our seva will save us. Shri Prabhu says that. Saves that. Your seva will save you. At the same time, it should be done in a very mature way under the guidance of devotees, because we should not be in a overwhelmed zone. We can be in the stretch zone. We have to get out of the comfort zone, but not get in the burnt out or panic zone or burnt out. That means that we have so much service that we don't have time for our sadhana. We don't have time. Because we are not at the level of gopis, right? There is a lot of service in ISKCON. If anyone says, I don't have service, well, that actually, that something is missing there. Because in any ISKCON temple you go, in any ISKCON center you go, there's so much online also going. There's no dearth of service. सेवा की कमी नहीं है, right? सेवा की कमी नहीं है. So one devotee said, we should not ask for service, rather we should ask so that we develop the right mood to serve. In ISKCON also, unfortunately or fortunately or whatever you may, especially in United States, it's both good and bad, both like at the same time, that there are very few devotees who are actively responsible, who are taking active part in serving and expanding the mission of Prabhupada. That's the Prabhupada's mood. I'm not criticizing anyone. Please don't take me wrong. I'm not taking any names of any temple or any devotee. I'm sharing a principle based on my experience. And I'm not saying I'm doing extra by any means. I also fall in that category, right? But whatever I'm sharing is I'm sharing for my own self. That we must take some part in being part of the solution, not be part of the problem. And by being part of the solution, we will get a lot more blessings, lot more Krishna Kripa. So, and I have experienced that. I have discussed with those who are actively involved. The joy is endless. There is so much learning, there is so much growth, there is so much, adventure. Like you go for book distribution, there's so much adventure, right? Like I was sharing in the petrol pump story the other day, right? You remember? Meeting new people, like how and when Krishna will come and in what aspect he will inspire us, right? Very, very beautiful, enlightening. The other day, in Naples book distribution, we met a person. We exchanged numbers. He got some books. He got Japamala and um, mm, and after a week, he reached out to us. He emailed both of us, me and Manjulali, expressing his gratitude. Like, that's rare, right? Who does that? We have met maybe 1,000 people or 10,000, maybe 1,000 people in the book distribution. But this was an American person reaching out, expressing gratitude, thanking for the cookie, thanking for the beads, thanking for the books, and thanking for that interaction, genuine interaction. This is Krishna encouraging us, keep going, right? It's not easy for sure, but there's nothing better to do in life. What will we do? If we don't do that, then we will end up wasting time. Maya will take that, and we'll feel depressed. We'll feel, oh, what did I do all day? Nothing. So, not stretching too much. This chapter is very, very beautiful. If you want to memorize one verse in this chapter, that's text 9, Bhagavatam. If you want to memorize 2, try to memorize 9 and then 1. And you can then pick others if you want to memorize more also. But 9 and 1, 19. So there are 19 verses. If you memorize the whole chapter, you are one who likes challenges and wants to really offer this Gopi Geet song. 19 verses, not that hard, right? 19 weeks you can take. You don't have to, it's not impossible, but it's certainly doable if you have that. But at least memorize a couple of verses in this chapter. Take a goal to memorize 2 or 3 verses. It's very, very beautiful. So we'll summarize this. We'll sing some verses also. All of your 5 devotees here, at least you pick a number. How many will you memorize in this chapter? Please, everyone, tell me. So you are held accountable. Tell me, give me a number. Nothing less than 1. Anything?
Hare
Anything
Krishna.
more than 0. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I will try to memorize 2. That's 1 and 9 and 1. First 9, then 1. And then, yes, Prabhuji, for now, I'll
Oh,
try.
very nice. Your Gaurnitai deities will love that, and you will get their embrace. That's how Pratapruddha Maharaj got embrace. Very nice. Okay, everyone has to tell a number. More than 0, not less than 1.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I will try 5.
5. Wow. Which are those lucky 5?
I don't know, Prabhuji. Like Mataji
9.
said, 1 and 9, and then I have to figure out the rest 3.
Wonderful. Wow, that's glorious. Very bold. And you have a very nice way of singing, and Krishna has blessed you that. So please do. I think you will love it, and let's record it. We can put this out also, Um, let
Yes,
let,
Prabhuji.
let the
Definitely.
world hear. Whatever help you need, I'll support you. Please do it. Okay, Manjulali, Priya Devi, and Shital Mataji, your turn also. Declare it boldly.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'll try the 9th one.
9th one?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice. Very bold. Thank you, Mataji. Manjulali, you also want to memorize 5? I know you know 2. I also know 2, so at least Shri Mataji is inspiring us to at least do 5. Okay. And I will pick those 5. I mean, for myself, I'm not forcing you to do those 5, right? So 2 we all finalized. 9th one, and the first one. So I'll pick the other 3 also by Monday is the next class. And I think a reasonable goal is end of the month. So some of us I think already know 1 or 2. So those like who picked 5. So in 3 weeks time we can memorize 3 or 4 more. Is that fair? By the month end we can complete our goals.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Shrimataji, you already know 2? Is that correct?
No, Prabhuji, I know like the first line of both, maybe half of the second line, but I don't know all of it.
Okay. That's fine. You can set, even if you need more time, you can set your own goals. But let's have a goal. Otherwise, पूरा साल खत्म हो जाएगा. तो when there's no goal, like a deadline, we humans are, deadline driven. Let's have some realistic goal. I think end of the month is still doable to memorize 2, 3, 4, 5 verses. So let's do that. Okay. And for those who are watching on the YouTube or anywhere, please comment, and as we say, comment below, right? Comment below how many you want to memorize, right? And we will, and then after, when the month ends, you can comment, have you completed? Send a recording of the 2, 3, 4, 5 verses you have memorized, and we will share. And forget about anyone else. You have memorized, you offer to Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa will be very happy, you will be very happy. There's nothing to lose here, right? There's nothing to lose. If you memorize a verse, you become dear to Kṛṣṇa. There's no doubt in that, right? We're not asking money, we're not asking go to Himalayas, we're not asking give up this, that. And sitting at your home, sthane shrita sthita shruti gatam tanu vang mano bhir. Wherever you are, you can memorize. You have kids can memorize. You have husband, wife, they can also memorize. So with that, we'll pause here and try to memorize verses. We'll do a quick summary next time, and we'll start the new chapter next time. Until then, stay happy, stay Krishna conscious, and keep sharing the love and joy of bhakti. ग्रंथ श्रीमद्-भागवतम पुराण की जय, जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.